Hello, I'm Tommy from the Blesspan Musical Instruments. Good morning. Uh, Yesterday I recorded a video uh, where I talked about the materials of my instruments. Uh, so I made it in Italian language. So today I decided to try to to reply the video, to record again the video in English. So it's a truly deep challenge for me. So I will do my best. Sorry if I will say something wrong, but try to follow me, understand what I want to let you know about the materials that we use, that I use on my musical instruments to create my musical instruments. So in this last period, I decided to create this video, and I will do maybe more videos about details and infos about the instrument that we love, because I've seen a lot of questions and doubts around the handpan community uh, about the stainless steel. So the stainless steel is a new material, so not new, but we have seen more than before in the last 2 years uh, in the handpan making, because we started. So I think every maker started with the nitrided steel or raw steel, and then in the last period, more makers uh, started to study and use the stainless steel. So, which is the question that I I I often see on internet, on the handpan community, on the forums. Uh, the most interesting question is, what should I buy? A stainless steel handpan or a nitrided steel handpan? This is a very interesting question, and I would like to say that I'm doing this video for you because it's not a matter of should I buy this or should I buy that. You should ask yourself which kind of sound you want, which kind of style you will play your instrument, which way you will use, in which way you will use your instrument. So, like at home, or busking outside, or concerts, or in a recording studio. So, all these elements let you understand which is the best material to be used for your instrument, for your new handpan. Um, Another thing truly important that I want to say is that this is my point of view, my opinion. So it's not for all. It's not 100% for all. For someone that love and like the sound of the stainless, for example, like me, could appreciate more the stainless. So I'm just trying to explain a sort of um, a sort of 360. Uh, I would like to let you see the instrument all around, just to understand and see what we can use and which kind of sound we can get from our new instrument. Uh, so, I've been working for 7 years on the nitrid steel or raw steel or with some different um, treatment on the steel, but usually I've been working on the CO4. It's been truly interesting. Every maker, I've I've done a lot of experiments to try to get the best sound from this material that usually need few treatments to sound at its best. And in the last 2 years, I started to work also with the stainless, and at the moment I'm using 99% that kind of material. Um, so I was not so interested in use this kind of material because in the past years I've seen few instruments on some videos like on YouTube, or I've seen in real some instruments made of stainless steel that sound too much. They were like wow wow. Every tone was too soft to open, too much elastic, and the sound was always um, was not concrete. Was the quality of the sound was not what I was looking for. So I've never been interested. But then 2 years ago, I had a friend, a maker, Jacopo from Handpan, that told me, "Hey Tommy, I have some stainless steel material with some strange treatment and experiment that I made on it. So can we try to work together? We can collaborate and see what happens." And they say, "Okay, I will try to work on one shell, just one. I want to see what happens, and then if I don't like I think, I will come back to the steel." Uh, I started, so I tried, uh, and I found out that the result was incredible. And not only as a maker but as a player, when I started to play that material, I truly I was not able to go back to play the steel again. Uh, but this is one more time. I want to say that is my point of view, my opinion, because if someone there are a lot of people that don't like the stainless steel and they continue to play on the 3D steel, and it's absolutely right, because everyone have to choose the right material for himself, you know, or herself, So, by the way, I tried to work on the stainless steel, and it's been truly interesting because it was completely different from what I thought about it. And and today I wanna let you understand and see uh, all the elements around the material that change completely the result, the touch, the sound, the timbre, the balance of the instrument. Um, Sometimes I've seen a lot of times, not sometimes, a lot of times, that people say, "Yeah, nitrate steel is more warm. The touch is warm, is soft, more than the stainless." This is not completely true, because if you give some interesting treatments on the stainless, you can have the same warm touch, and it depends also by the scale. So there are a lot of elements that I want to let you know, understand, um, that gives completely different result to the instrument. So uh, we all know we all know the uh, knitter steel. Uh, Usually the makers use the DC04 or DC01, DC05, and that is the most used steel in our heart, you know. And so I'm talking about more about the stainless steel because it for me is a new material that I want to let you know. Um, so there are a lot of elements. I wanna go a little bit deep inside. Everything starts from a piece of steel, you know, and this piece of steel or stainless steel uh, start to be modified, shaped by different ways. That could be the spinning, the hydroforming, the press by a matrix or a stamp, and these way to create the shell completely change, first of all, the tensions inside the shell. So these give a completely different result at the end, and a completely different sound and touch of the instruments. Um, so first of all, the making of the shell. We have few ways that could be hydroforming, spinning, pressure. Uh, we start from this, and we can say in my Blesspan we usually work on spined shells. Then I also use hydroformed and stamped shells, but today we talk about the standard one, so a spinned shell. And we have we can have a spinned shell made of stainless steel. And so this different mode of working on it, like hydroforming, stamp, or spinning, give different tensions and handswear of the steel to our hands, our fingers. So the sound will be completely different. So in this case, how can I say is better stainless or is better the material steel or steel? Sincerely, depend by how you made the shell, first of all. Then there are different treatments that could be made from the oven, from a company, and these happen on steel and also on the stainless steel. We can go from 120 degrees to 1300 and more, you know. So this is another interesting point, super important, because when we do the treatments, we have a sort of the tensions inside change, the steel change. And for example, in the interesting treatment that I do, I have a sort of layer that gives a completely different touch of your fingers. So another important thing is the surface of the instrument that we can get from a treatment and let it start working on it without polished, or we can polish the instrument, the shell, and we will have a completely different touch, completely different sound. Okay, so also this is another choice of the maker that could be changed every time that he makes an instrument by the request of the customer, you know, of the player. So if we have a shell, we have different tension, depend by the making of the shell, then by the treatment of the shell, depend by the layer of the shell, by the surface of the shell that could be polished or not. Then another important thing, the next step, you know, is the making of the dimples. The making of the dimples is truly interesting because on the same tone we can make it bigger or smaller, and the sound, the touch, the timbre completely change, especially the balance, and also how we put it inside. So we should study a geometry of the scale. What is truly interesting is that I started with the steel, and I had a kind of study on geometries and layouts, that when I started with the stainless steel, I had to change completely and I made some new geometries, some new layouts for every scale. So I had to study again and starting again to explore these small details that are truly important. So why I'm talking about the geometry of the tone and of the dimples. So try to follow me. We are inside this room. We are in 5, okay? Me and you, that could be in 4 people. And we go in the corner like this, and we start to scream to the center. You start to scream to the center. You start to scream to me, okay? If there's someone inside in the center of the room, he will feel all this screaming that you scream a song, and maybe you scream like a C sharp song, you scream like a D song or a F song. All together will be a sort of chaos. We cannot understand anything because all will be in dissonance, you know. If we move, for example, not from here, but I look at the corner and I start screaming to the corner, maybe the person that is in the center will listen what I'm screaming, but less than before. less than before, less than before, less than before. So maybe in the center will be not so much, there will be not so much chaos, so much dissonance. Maybe also everything could be clear because I'm not screaming there, but I'm screaming here. So mm, I can match everything that will be a little bit slow. So it happens the same where we are when we are talking about the handpans, because inside this room there are a lot of tones that scream to the center, and if they are in the right position, everything will be clear and in tune and in complete resonance, great resonance. But if I just move the tone in the wrong way, um, just I just move wrong for 10 degrees, it could start talking with the other one. That could be a semitone, a half tone. The harmonics of this one could start talking with the other one. They will come up and become out of tune. So also the design, the geometry and the layouts will be absolutely important. And in the stainless steel, more than in the nitride steel. Why? Because we have more sustain. So it's like screaming more than usually. Okay, so it's truly important, the geometry, and also this is truly important to find in an instrument and say, yes, I want to buy one in stainless steel. Why? Because all the geometry inside, all the details are in the right position, are well studied, and all is in great shape, and I can feel a clear sound even if I have a lot of sound. Okay, so after the dimples, the layouts, the geometry of the scale, um, we go to the tuning. So the tuning could be in different shapes. You know, the border of the tone could be soft, like in the old instrument, like the Hang, the Bellart, all the very nice old young instruments were created with a very soft border, um, and it sounds in a way maybe warmer. Sometimes we can create something with a super sharp perimeter, super sharp corner around the tone, and this completely change the sound of the same material. You know, so also the tuning style completely changed the sound. I want to let you understand that it's not like, okay, I work on that material, this is the result. I work on that material, this is the result. No, you can work on this material in several ways and get a different results. Do the same here, okay? Nitride steel, stainless steel, okay? So then after the tuning, we put the instrument inside the oven usually. Why? Because we want to get balance. We want that the tuning uh, is strong for a few months, few years. We have to create it for a percussionist, so we need a strong material. And in that case, we go a little bit back to the shell, because the shell could be 1 millimeter, 1.2, 1.25, 1.4. All these elements, the thickness of the steel, completely change also the sound of the instrument, and especially it's not only the sound, it's the touch of your hands, of your fingers on the instrument. So we are making for a percussionist. We want to do a very strong instrument. In nitride steel or in stainless is the same. We want to do it very strong. Okay, we use maybe a thickness material that could be 1.2, and then after the first tuning we put in the oven for 1 time, 2 time, 3 times, depend by the maker how it works, and how is the request of the customer. So then we will tune it again, and we will have at the end a strong instrument, but we can put in the oven from 120 degrees to 1300. So it completely changed. So we cannot say I buy the stainless, I buy the nitride steel. Depend how you put it in the oven, how you tune it, how you work on the border of the tone, a lot of things. Then we go. The next step, the instrument is tuned. But which scale we decided to tune? You asked me a scale. I work with the material that I think is the best for that scale. In the last period, we are working a lot on very low instruments like the F2, A2, thanks to to great makers that I absolutely admire. We found a way to go really low, and now I want to explain, in my opinion, what happened. Try to think about a guitar string. We stretch it a lot. It's super stretched. We touch it, it continues to vibrate for a long. We put it soft. Wow, wow, wow. We touch it, it makes like wow, 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 wow. It stops in just in a few seconds. This is the same on a ding, for example. If the ding is very low, for example, F2, A2, C3 also, it will be soft and it will vibrate less than usually. You know, if we have a like a G3, it will sound whoom, super stretched, so it will vibrate more. Usually, not always, but usually that is the situation. This is the situation. So what happened? If we have a vibration that is very short, we will try to find a solution. Which is the solution? The stainless steel could be a solution because we have more sustain. But it's not always the same because we have a player that say I want to have to, I want a A2, I want a C3 Amara, but I want less sustain than usually because I want to play in a studio only percussionist, only as a percussionist. Okay, I work on this raw steel, for example, that is easier to stop the sound because if I work on the stainless steel that has already a lot of sustain, is not so easy to stop it, you know. So in another case, I have someone that asks me for a F2 pygmy and he wants a lot of sustain. I will have to work on stainless for sure, because with the knitted steel is not so easy to get a lot of sustain on that kind of material for me, for my research. Okay, so the scale is truly important. So if you ask yourself, I have to buy something in stainless or in steel, not is not that the question. The question is which kind of instrument I want, how I want to play it, which scale I like it, and how I want to play it and where, outside, inside, as a percussionist, as a melodic player, as a both style, Okay. Then what happened after the scale, after the tuning, after the shell, the dimples making? We have the glue that is truly important. Not so many people and makers put too much attention to this element, but the glue could be completely different. We could have some very soft glue, some very hard glue, and it changed completely. Try to understand. We have the upper shell that when we play it, send informations. Sorry, the upper shell send information to the bottom shell, to the goo. This is without any doubt. So try to put your handpan on the table and stop the goo. If you play the ding, usually it will be completely stopped. Why? Because the ding send the information to the goo and they cannot come back. Okay, so it's like a question answer. Okay, if we put a very soft glue between the two shells, we will not have all the information that go and come back, because the soft glue will absorb some of the informations that the upper shell is sending in the bottom. Okay, I really hope that you can understand and I can explain in the right way. Okay, so we are sending information. We have something that absorb and stop these informations, or some of the informations. What happened? This is an interesting point, because we can use a very strange glue, very strong one, and all the information go and back, and the instrument sounds super, a lot of sustain, everything is rich, But we will also send the high frequency that usually are the ones that we listen as metallic frequency. So I decided to create an instrument that should be warm, something that when I touch is very soft. I really love it, especially for example on a major scale. No, so what I can do, I can use soft glue that absorb the high frequency. Okay, and this frequency will be absorbed, stopped, and just the lowest one, the warmest one, will go and sound, and I will have a very warm instrument. The touch of the fingers will be absolutely soft because all the touch of the high frequencies are absorbed and stopped by the glue. This is the same that we could see, understand, feel, and listen when we use the rubber rim. That could be something interesting because I can use a very hard glue and save some high frequency, some metallic sound, stop it and absorb it by the rubber rim, for example. So this is another important point on how to choose your instrument and the material to be used on the instrument. After that, after that, we can already go to the final instrument. The final instrument could be could be um, could be bought or request to the makers in two ways. You are a beginner, you are someone that really don't know about the scale, about what you want, what you really want. So you can go to your preferred maker and say, sorry, but I need some help because I really don't know what I want to buy. So please, can you help me? And in that case, you can buy on or make your choose on make your choice on the offer or offers of the makers. So they offer you an instrument, as like for example a standard D Celtic minor or E major, for example, something that is standard, neutral. I say, and then in that case choose by you can choose by the maker, by the advice of the maker. In another case, our case is, for example, my case, I already know what I want to buy. I already know the scale that I want, where I want to play it, and how I want to play it. So in that case, that are the questions you should have. You should ask, and you can ask to your maker. You can ask, I would like to buy that scale. I would like to play it over there. I would like to play in this style. I've some very big hands. I like to press a lot, or I play very soft, gentle, and I can do it. I can play always in a melodic way. So, can you help me on what I have to choose for my skill, for my style? And in that case, the best would be that the maker can explain and help you in that way. You know, if you want to buy something that have a lot of sustain, maybe the stainless is the best. There are a lot of nitrided steel instruments that sound a lot, maybe like the stainless, but not always. Sometimes are a little bit stopped, more than the stainless. You know, so sometimes you want to play something that has less sustain because you want to record it, so you want a very clean sound, super clear. So in that case, the maker could say, okay, with the stainless we have a lot of sustain that is not easy to control. So I prefer to make for you an instrument in nitrided steel, so it is clear. The sound is a little bit shorter but super clear. Or the maker could say, hey, I have, I have a new treatment on my stainless steel that has a lot of sustain, but it's super clear. Every tone sounds by itself. So it depends a lot from many elements that has been studied from the maker. And once again, I want to say that the maker have to understand and try and research every time. Why? Because even if you buy always the same steel, no, we have, for example, in the steel we have the DC04, for example, no. So I go to buy 30 shells of DC04. The DC04 goes from here to here. Here we have less carbon, here more. So today I buy 30 shells and the carbon is here, like a percent here. After 6 months, I buy another 30 shells that are still in DC04, but now are a little bit different. The carbon is here, from here to here, from 1 to 10. The carbon is at 7. 6 months before it was at 3. Now it's at 7. So soft, strong. They are softer and super elastic. They are stronger, very hard. So every 6 months I have to understand how to work on this material, even if it's the same DC04 or AZ430. So this is very interesting but also difficult. So it's not easy for a maker to understand how to work every time. This is why it's not so easy to say is better that or is better that one. Maybe in this period for me it's better to work on stainless. Maybe I will find a new steel that will be epic in few months. So once again, this video, I made this video because I wanted to let you know and feel my point of view about the materials that I use for my Blespans, and for what I like. That is very important. What I'm telling to you is not for all. It's just for me and for people that have a sort of feeling like mine, about the sound, about the touch of the instrument. So I cannot say better that one, better that one. Depend what you want. Ask yourself which scale I like, how I want to play it, where I want to play it, and that maker, how it works, which is your advice that you can give me. That is the best thing that you can do. Okay, so I really hope that I helped you with this video. I think I will do some more videos like this one. I would like to talk about the scales, but it's something truly hard because the choice of the scale is truly difficult, but I will try to do something. I have some ideas for you and also for me. So I really hope that you like this video. Share if you want, but especially have a good research, have a good music with our loved and fans, and the best material would be what you feel better than the others. Don't ask which is the material. Ask what you really want and how you really want to play it, and then you will find the right material. Have a good music.